Never don't let we can falter in the battle. We're tried and true. Indiana, Indiana, we're
Welcome, everybody, to the Indiana Basketball Show on the Grizzly True Sports Network. I'm your co-host, Mike Goodpaster. I'd like to welcome in an Indiana legend, at least in his own mind, Steve Risley. How you doing, Steve?
Good morning from very early Los Angeles.
Now, nobody wants to hear that crap. Last night, the Indiana Hoosiers, well, for the second straight time, they can't make a key play in crunch time. Indiana faced a raucous atmosphere at Purdue last night in West Lafayette. They were in the game the whole way, but critical errors at the end of the game and critical errors at the start of the game. Those critical errors, to me, Steve, are allowing Malik Renew to start. Malik Renew started the first half. They were getting their ass kicked at the start. They're down 9-4, 9-6, and then they put Luke Goody in because Renew gets 2 fouls immediately, and then they turn it around. They have the lead at halftime, and you're thinking, surely, whatever moron coaches this team would not start Malik Renew at the start of the second half over Luke Goody. But that moron did start him yet again. And then we go from being up 4 to down 1 in literally 2 freaking minutes. We got saved because Malik Renew got his third foul. And Malik Renew for tonight, Steve, played 8 minutes and got 5 fouls. That is hard to do in a college basketball game. You got to give him credit for that.
I did it once against Magic Johnson. Only I think I made it about 17 minutes.
But that's Magic Johnson.
Yeah,
and you're lucky you didn't get AIDS from that.
I was told to go chop him and hatchet him anyway. My night said, just Risley, you're starting second half, make him pay. So I gave him all 5 of my fouls. Mike, I thought, let me talk about the positives. I thought there was a much better effort for a longer period of time than we've seen pretty much all season for this team. They battled back. They came back. They got behind. They got ahead. They lost the lead. They got back in the lead. They showed resilience. They showed gut. They showed determination. Unfortunately, some of the things we'll talk about here in the next, future segments here in the show, that cost them dearly. I don't know that I'd hold entirely the same sentiment about Renew that you do. Renew's been a pretty solid player for us all year.
He's been shit all year. He doesn't fit with Ballo. And for some reason, Woodson doesn't understand it. He doesn't play defense.
We'll talk about the egos on the team too here, but I think that your assessment of not starting him in the second half was pretty strong because he was not playing a good game, and it's evident by his stats. 8 minutes, 0 points, fouls out of the ball game, really makes no real contribution. 3 turnovers in the 8 minutes that he's playing. So he really wasn't effective there. The team did not fold. The costly turnovers. And I know we'll address that. You'll address it. 20 turnovers in the game is not acceptable for a team that wants to be a tournament team and has the tradition and the history of an IU basketball team. Handling the rock at this point of the year is paramount because every game becomes so strong and so important to them, especially Indiana, who's an outside-in looking team right now, right on the bubble anyway. So I saw a lot of positives. I thought I saw more positives than I did, so I looked at the stat sheet. Yeah. And, we'll go over this. I know you want to talk about the free throw shooting. I'll let you
the turnovers.
Address it. The turnovers, the free throw shooting. We got out rebounded. And because of the turnovers, we got outscored on points from turnovers, 26-15. Although we made that up with our bench, giving us 26 points to their 14. But they have put 2 players in 24 points or more. They didn't need their bench as much as we needed ours because one of our starters scored 0 points.
Our guard
play overall only came up with 6 points.
Yeah.
And our 2 sub guards, Goody and Galloway, give you 28 points. So the thing that's disappointing me, and I'm not going to go sitting here and doing this and looking at this in hindsight, vision's always 20/20. We can always say that.
Wait,
but what's concerning me, let me finish here, then you can have the floor.
Go ahead.
Mike has made 2 critical mistakes in the last 15 seconds of a ball game, 2 games in a row now. 2 games we needed to win. We had a chance to win this game at the end. This was a quad 1 win. We've only got 2 quad 1 wins out of 10 attempts. We're 2-8 in quad 1 right now. That's critical.
Right. Steve, you got to answer this question for me, because this is the thing that has drove me nuts all night. All right. And it's Miles Rice. Indiana opted not to call a timeout. Rice goes 1-on-1 against Harris. He gets his shot blocked. And in the post-game press conference, Mike Woodson says, I couldn't get his attention.
Yeah, well,
and about that time, he got where he was going. I thought he got fouled on the play, but they didn't make the call. Why doesn't Mike Woodson just call a freaking timeout? Why do you have to get Miles Rice's attention?
Why do one of Mike's assistants not yell out, Coach, get a timeout? Let's set up a play.
His assistants aren't there. The coach, they're there to be yes men.
You've got Luke Goody, who's 3 for 6 from the 3-point line, and Galloway 1 for 2 from the 3-point line. You got 2 guys shooting 50% from the 3-point line. Why is the ball not in their hands in the last 10 seconds of a ball game? But that's hindsight's always 20/20. It's easy to do. I think the thing that's concerning me about Mike is I almost want to say he's just like getting caught up in the excitement of the end of the game.
I don't think
and he's not coaching. I don't know.
That's my
opening statement.
I
don't want to bash Mike. For all the reasons I've stated through this whole thing, Mike is a teammate, a friend.
He makes $5 million. He's supposed to lead the program.
I'll turn it over to you now and let you.
I will say this. No, I'm bringing up Brian Wetters. Brian Wetters says, why has Mike Woodson, of all former players, had trouble coaching basketball offense? My opinion is this. In my opinion of why these games go this way is because he makes promises to guys to get them here. He has to give them playing time. He has to let them run the damn team, because that's the way it is with him. And I don't think he gets so caught up in the game, because when I watch him on the sideline, he doesn't look overly caught up. I mean, a coach that's caught up in the game, instead of suggesting a timeout to Miles Rice as he runs by, would just walk up to the official and say timeout and then draw up a play. Of course, the play he would draw up would probably be for Miles Rice to shoot a 50-footer from half court. But it's hard to be nice to somebody that makes the same mistakes over and over again. We got another one. Robert Stewart. The mistake is Rice bad decisions the last 2 games late against Maryland. I wouldn't call a timeout, but last night, yes. And the problem is this, though. Why is Miles Rice taking the last shot in 2 games? I mean, Miles Rice hasn't done anything extraordinary. Luke Goody, Trey Galloway last night would have been the 2 guys I would have wanted to get the shot, or take it all the way to the hole and let Ballo
dump it into Ballo.
Yeah,
and get a 3-point play.
Yeah,
I mean, that's your surest bet right there.
Yeah, but the problem there is Ballo doesn't shoot free throws very well.
Well, we got
so if you don't make the shot and you get fouled, you're kind of screwed also. So to me, when you look at it, I mean, the 20 and 25 point losses, we could blame on lack of effort. Maybe that doesn't fall all on the coach. But when you have 2 games that you can win and they end the way they did, right now we're just biding time until the inevitable happens anyways. I mean, if they would have won these last 2 games, Steve, they'd probably be a 10 seed right now.
I just want to point out to everybody listening to us, Mike and I are both critical because I think we see this as a team that's qualified and good enough to get in the tournament, talent-wise.
No doubt.
I think talent-wise, this team belongs in the tournament, but I'm afraid due to errors and misguided plays, balls in the hands of the wrong players at the wrong time, faith in players who aren't playing well. That's why you got 12 guys on a team. I mean, if somebody's not playing well in a game, if Renew's not having a good game, set him down. I mean, Mike's proven he's not going to stick to one lineup and go with that. He's going to change his lineup. In the second half, he should have come out with a different lineup. So I think the sense of our criticalness for everybody listening is not that we don't like Mike or don't like this basketball
I don't
team.
like him.
Okay, I will not go that far.
Well, you don't have to because
Okay,
you know
that's
him.
fine. But I think it's the silly mistakes this team continues to make and shows no willingness or time spent on improving those mistakes. Now, I'm not at practice. I don't know what Mike is trying to teach these guys. It may just be a communication problem where they are not listening to him. You know, and going back to the comment you made, I wrote a little note down here while you were making it. That why can Mike not see things that are happening offensively? I think two things that might come into play. I don't know. And I'm trying not to be critical of Mike. You're doing a good enough job for the both of us. One is Mike was always the star of our team. So offensively, everything was always set up for him. So all Mike had to do was shoot the ball, you know, get open, and we got him open and he shot the ball. And then secondly, coaching in the NBA, that's a star system anyway. So LeBron's going to get the ball in his hands at the end of every game, no matter what the coach says to do. LeBron's going to come in and draw up the play, not J.D. Redick. Trust me, Redick is just a puppet sitting on that bench. As I don't know if Mike's letting the stars dictate what he does and decisions he makes. I don't know. I'm not there. So, but something is amiss in the land of Oz. And if we don't fix it, we are going to be, for the second year, outside looking in and, you know, turning down another bid to the NIT because we think it's beneath us. Right now, the NIT is maybe not beneath us. You know, I just don't know what to say, but we cannot play with the effort we played against Purdue and make 20 turnovers and expect to win that ball game.
Yeah, and the thing is this, if you take away the turnovers, which you cannot, you can't. That's the problem. And this is the thing. Mike Woodson, I don't know him personally. I hate him being our coach because I think this is absolutely 4 years in with no culture, no accountability, and it's a waste of time. And I had somebody send me a message on Facebook asking if I went to IU games recently. I live 2 hours away. I got 3 grandkids with me and my wife, and I really don't see a reason to drive 2 hours to watch this, for lack of a better term. Shit.
Well, I see more on television. I see it on being there because I get caught up in the pageantry of being down there. I got people shaking my hand. Hey, good to see you, Riz. You know.
Yeah, but most of those people are in old folks' homes and lost their season tickets.
I know.
But
you know what's funny? On a sidebar note, my wife and I were talking last night. When I first came to IU in 1977, and some of the 40 team would come by occasionally, those that were still alive, and they'd come to practice, the old guys. That was 37-year difference from 40 to 77.
Yeah, that difference is longer now.
My spread between when I played 81 and this team is longer.
Yeah, so you go in there would be like a Civil War veteran show up and talk to the
would be like a Civil War. I go, who is this old fart?
But yeah, when you look at this, Indiana shot 57% from three, or shot 37% from 3-point range.
That's decent.
That's great. I would take that every
what were they,
game.
57% from 2-point?
Yeah, they out-rebounded Purdue 32-26. They had more assists, 14-9. But the things that stand out to me are this: total turnovers, 20-10. Fast break points, 9-5. Out of the turnovers, points off turnovers were 26-15 in favor of Purdue. 21 fouls by Indiana, 19 by Purdue. And I'll tell you this, or 14 by Purdue. I think this was a horribly officiated game against both teams. I thought the officials on both sides were absolutely horrible. So I don't think that really.
I heard these guys are going to go do the Kansas City-Philadelphia game next.
Well, I think, hold on here. We got a few more. We've got Robert Stewart says, I hope Malik Renew and Balo don't play together against Wisconsin. How about that lineup change the next games? I guarantee it'll probably start.
We'll get to Wisconsin, but Wisconsin's another guard-strong team. You know, they're a very guard-strong team. But we'll get there. Let's
we got Scottsburg. Balin Gardner says, good day.
Balin's back. Hey, Balin, good to hear from
you both again. God bless you all. God bless you, too. Anything else we want to talk about this exciting Purdue, Indiana? It was actually a
great game
to watch.
I enjoyed the entire game. I felt Indiana had a clear-cut chance to win it. I would have liked to have seen a timeout and a play drawn up, but that's easy to say. Had
Rice. We all knew
Rice
Rice
come
was
down
missing
and made
that
a
shot.
shot. We'd have thought Rice to be the hero.
Yeah,
So
whatever.
it's easy to
But
say
this is
that.
the thing. There's not a world where he's going to make that shot. So,
Well, there is a world, but we're not anywhere.
Well,
orbiting.
we've
We're not
ran that
orbiting
world
that,
in back-to-back games, and in that world, he hadn't even gotten freaking close. McKenzie Mbako, though, I think we have to bring up. I think it was his best performance of the season.
Yeah.
You know, he exploited mismatches repeatedly. He dropped a game-high 25 points. It was 10 of 17 from the field, 3 for 8 from threes. And this is coming off after a 4-game stretch where he scored a total of 16 points.
This Brandon Smith?
If this, huh? No, this is McKenzie Mbako.
Oh, McKenzie Mbako.
Not a Purdue show, Steve. Shit.
Okay. Well, they're guard play. Yeah.
Yeah, but and I mean, if you forget about the stats, you know, McKenzie Mbako played like a man last night, and if he continues to play like that, this team does have a small chance. I think Gallo played great. And the other thing to me, Steve, is this. He didn't score a lot of points last night, but the last 3 games, Anthony Leal, I think, is turning into an actual floor general. And it's great to see him actually attack the basket some now.
Yeah. I just keep going back to I just don't want to get into this. I do not want to get into ripping the coaching staff. But who's not on the bench as an assistant coach looking at this and going, hey, Galloway and Leal or Goody are hot. They're hot from the 3. They're making 50%. Coach, call a timeout and let's get a play set up for one of those 2. You know, run Ballo off a high screen. That way you can roll Ballo if they cut off the 3-point shot from Galloway or Goody. Ballo's rolling. He's 7 foot tall. Throw it up there to him and let him get up. They're going to foul him on the dunk.
And I would like to say something about Leal. I don't want people to think that I'm thinking that he played really well. I think he's the guy that looks closest to the team leader. And obviously,
I thought Galloway played good last night.
Obviously, you know, Smith did pick his pocket on the dumb offensive foul he committed to keep Smith from schooling him again with under 4 minutes to go. So Leal still has issues too. I'm just comparing him to everybody else. And the fact that, once again, this team has no senior leadership.
I don't know what Goody's got to do to get a regular spot in the starting lineup. I mean, that kid stepped up to the plate every time we've asked him to take a swing at the ball.
That kid could have played on the 81 team. He's a tough kid. He
would fit right into the 81 team. He'd have been.
Brian wants to know if your house.
He'd have been a little bit better shooting Whitman. You know.
Steve, is your house safe from the California fires? Brian,
we appreciate that.
Wait, Steve. Because right now, Steve actually lives in my basement now because him and his wife had to get out.
I do not live in your basement, although that would be a pleasure.
Well, I know, but I just got a crawl space.
The way you eat steaks every day and everything like that.
Well, I don't let anybody in the house eat like that but me because I pay for shit. All right. Everybody else is eating Roman noodles or ramen noodles, whatever you call it.
Thank you for asking. Yes, we got close. We were in evacuation mode a couple of times. We did not have to evacuate. But we were it's called a ready, set, go situation out here where ready means be ready, set means have your bags packed and your car turned around, filled up a tank, and ready to get out of there as soon as we blow the whistle. We got to there a couple times. We saw fire all around us, but it never got any closer to us. At one point, we were a block and a half away from having to evacuate, but we fought it off. And things are calm now. They're expecting more rain this weekend. So to everybody that listens out here in LA, it's a disaster. It is. I've not seen it in person. I refuse to go down there and be a gawker. But it is a real tragedy to a significant number of people out here. And anything anybody can do to help, get on board and help. The city stepped up. Not the government. The city has stepped up big time and started helping each other out in a huge way, and I'm very proud of that for Los Angeles.
All right, Steve. Next up, the Wisconsin Badgers. They're 16-5. They play at Northwestern today.
Well, you want to talk about the schedule? Let's talk about our schedule first.
Well, I am. That's why we're going to talk about the Wisconsin Badgers next.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to break down the Badgers.
Well, we were.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that what you wanted to do next?
Whatever you want to do, Mike.
It doesn't matter to me, Steve.
I'm just a privileged guest.
Yes, you are, Steve. All right. I don't know about a privileged guest, but if you're privileged, you'd probably be on a better show than this.
No, I
All right.
couldn't be on a better show. I couldn't do with a better partner.
So, quit kissing
Ted
my
Kitchell
ass.
might be a little bit better partner.
No, you know he's not. You always
Yeah,
said he was kind of mean and angry. I'm just kidding, by the way, Ted.
I like that mean and angry shit.
Well, there you go. What are you always
Stuff.
bitching about me for?
That mean and angry stuff. I don't want the FCC getting on us now that Trump's
There is no FCC if you're doing a podcast that's on over-the-air network television.
Well,
I'm trying to explain this to you.
Trump's the master keeper of podcasts now since he's got his own. So I just don't want to piss Trump off.
He's got a podcast?
Well, he's got a whole damn radio network. He's got what, Truth and Social or Social Truth or something like that? I don't know.
I don't think he's got a podcast, Steve.
Well, he tweets on everybody at 3:00 in the morning. Does that idiot ever sleep?
I don't know, Steve.
Good
You
God.
should ask him. All right. So, what do you think about the shot at beating Wisconsin at Wisconsin?
I feel better about it now than I did before the Purdue game. I think they can. I think they. I'm hoping this. The way they played against Purdue. Purdue is the most hostile environment Indiana will face all season long. Going up there and playing. I know I played there 4 games, never won a game. Purdue came to Assembly Hall 4 times in my 4 years at Indiana, never won a game. It is the most hostile environment. Wisconsin will be tough, but not as tough as playing at Mackey. I think Indiana, I'm a little bit better feeling about Indiana having an opportunity to beat Wisconsin if they can do the things that we've talked about, turnovers and guard play. And unfortunately, when you go through the stats of Wisconsin, Mike, as you will, I'm sure, Wisconsin's a very guard-laden team. So, again, we've got the definition of insanity. So I didn't invent this, and we've all heard it, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. We've got to change what our expectations are, and we got to change what we're doing, or our expectations cannot change. So I feel better about Wisconsin after last night than I did after our previous show.
I will say this: if Wisconsin loses to Northwestern today at Northwestern, which I think could very easily possibly happen, I think that game is going to be a lot more difficult for us.
Sure.
And also,
Wisconsin's back will be against the wall then.
Yeah, and Wisconsin is a team that is significantly better at home than they are away.
Yes.
So that's going to be an issue. My other thought is this. There's been so many close games lost here. When does this start to wear on them? When does it kill the confidence? And we got Robert, 2 starting bigs, won't get the job done at Wisconsin. I agree. Brian Wetters says key will be Mbako and Ballo for Wisconsin.
I don't agree. I think the key is going to be our guard play.
I think the key will be the guard play also. Well, I think the key is going to be that Malik Renew doesn't play unless he's by himself. You can't play Ballo and Renew.
And then you say that, and Renew comes out and scores 30 points.
I don't give a shit. He'll give up 40, and it never happens. When is the last time this happened? The 2 of them together do not work. By themselves, they work. But Luke Renew is not quick.
I can't argue that point. I can't argue that point.
But all right,
I think at this point I would be giving Galloway and Goody a shot at it again, especially.
Well, yeah, I think Galloway and Goody should both start off the game you just saw.
I mean, Trey made 5 turnovers last night, but he's handling the rock almost entirely, exclusively when he's in the game. He's going to make more turnovers than anybody, and Galloway tries a lot of crazy stuff. Some of it good idea, some of it bad idea, but I applaud him for giving it a shot. He lobs the ball in, he gets again, tries to get the ball inside. He's got that running, floating jump shot that he can score off of at will. He's got a good first step to the right, and Goody is just, you cannot leave Goody alone on the perimeter. He's going to beat you.
Well, he was a bitch when we had to play him last year when he was at Illinois. Corey Stroud, thanks for watching, Corey. Hopefully we'll see the same effort against Wisconsin, but I have my doubts, as we all do, Corey. There's no reason to think. Yeah, and I would just like to see 40 minutes, one time all the way through. Balin Gardner chimes in. Going to have to make it to some football games next year. My oldest nephew will be playing football all the way at Grambling State. I'll have to make it to a game there too. My plate is full. Steve's plate's full too. That's why he's got that.
Who was the coach at Grambling State? Eddie, what was his name?
Eddie Robinson.
Eddie Robinson.
Yeah.
One of the greatest college football coaches of all time.
Did you ever see
Did he lead the country, still the leader in wins?
I don't think so.
Wasn't he not?
I don't think so.
I thought he was.
But also, the interesting thing there is there was a movie made, a network TV made about Grambling back then. And Bruce Jenner was the white dude that came and became a kicker on Eddie Robinson's team. Bruce Jenner was the actor who portrayed the white guy who was the kicker on the team. I just found
was that Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner?
It was Bruce because it was like 1979 or so when the movie came out. Brian Wetters, the whole team needs a Galloway haircut, especially on Baco. Yes,
how about I did like about Galloway's haircut.
He looked like a man now instead of Billy Ray Cyrus.
My wife said he got ugly.
Oh, that's mean. Why does your wife make fun of people like that?
Because I'm so good looking. She knows there's nobody.
All right. I beg to differ with Michael Houghton. He says we cannot have 15 to 20 turnovers in Wisconsin. I guarantee you we could, Michael. I
guarantee you it's a good bet we will.
All right. Robert Stewart Gallo got that Culver Military Academy haircut. He could see better. Well, he's also faster now. He's more aerodynamical.
I think he didn't have the headband on. I think that was it.
Well, he didn't need a headband. There was nothing to keep out of his eyes.
I know. Well, Curly Neal wore a headband, and he was bald.
But that wasn't real basketball. That was the Harlem Globetrotters. Those games were fixed. That was like playing in the NFL. If you're
it didn't start that way. The Globetrotters initially
destroyed
the NBA.
They beat the Minneapolis Lakers, I think, the 1949.
Yeah, when the Globetrotters were not, when black players were not allowed in the NBA. Saperstein we all know the story. Put his team
even
together.
where they were, if you remember, Wilt Chamberlain, went and played for the Globetrotters for a year before he went to the NBA, I believe, or before he went to Kansas.
Yeah, well, that was a contract thing he was holding out for. They didn't quite have the ABA then, but Saperstein put that team together, and the NBA quit playing them. They would not play the Globetrotters anymore. That's why they had to form their own dump team. Then he turned into clowns. They were beating teams so badly, but this is not a history lesson on the Harlem Globetrotters.
It can be if you want. It's more interesting than talking about 20 turnovers. Steve.
Okay, break down Wisconsin. What do we got to look at Wisconsin?
I'd rather talk about the Harlem Globetrotters against the NBA.
Well, I would rather talk about the Harlem Globetrotters. I took a class in college on that and got an A in it.
Yeah, because they actually beat the NBA World Champions in 1948 and 49. Which,
I tried to sign up for Bob Knight's basketball class at IU, and I could not get in.
Really?
No, I mean, and not because Knight was keeping me out.
I think he was keeping you out. No, I think he was keeping you out, Steve.
It probably was. Yeah. Woodson was in there.
All right. So
maybe I'm glad I didn't take the class.
And did you know 1950, Nate Sweetwater Clifton was the first black player to sign an NBA contract, and that was from playing for the Globetrotters. There's actually a movie called Sweetwater that's out there pretty good right now, too.
Didn't Sweetwater play for Texas Tech?
I don't remember. I haven't watched.
He played for. He played for. I thought he played for. They were Texas Western back then. That was Don Haskins. That's Glory Road, the movie Glory Road.
Yeah, but this is Sweetwater Clifton played in the NBA in 1950. Steve, Glory Road was 1966.
You're right.
And the Globetrotters beat the Lakers in 1948.
Yeah.
61-59.
All right.
At the buzzer.
Let's look at Wisconsin.
Tell me, what do you think is the key to beating Wisconsin?
Shutting down guard play. I mean, their two top scorers, Tongi and Blackwell, 18 and 16 points. You got to play tough. They got 5 players averaging in double figures. Let's see what they are shooting wise. 3-point field goals. What do we got here? Free throw percentage, 86.4%. You can't get them on the foul line. They're going to beat you there. 46% from the field and 36% from 3-point. They're a good shooting ball club. They've got a 7-foot center. Nolan Winter actually is 6'11", 235.
All right. There's Stephen Krall, too, who's been there for a while.
Krall is, I think, 7 foot, isn't he?
Yeah.
So they go with a 3-guard offense and a 2-guard, and that's an Achilles heel for Indiana. That as many guards as you throw out there. Yeah, Krall. So they're 6'11", 7 foot.
Well, this is what I think happens because this is the key.
They're going to tough game to play.
They're going to put their 2 bigs in, and that's going to make Woody think he's got to play both his bigs. And that's where we get in trouble.
That we'll get in trouble there. I mean,
because
I think one thing Mike's got to learn to do is try and play his own game and not play to everybody else's game.
Well, I think that when you're 65 years old and you've been here for 4 years and you coached for 20, you should have probably figured that out.
I'm 66 and I've been with you 8 years. So.
Wisconsin, not as strong as this year, should be a winnable game. Every game's a winnable game when you get the talent they have, but when you get
last night was a winnable game against the 10th ranked team in the country.
This is the problem with the problem of a poorly coached team with a lot of talent is every game is winnable, but every game's losable. What you get? What?
Yeah, there you go. No,
what did I say that's funny?
No, that's a prophetic statement.
Well, I mean, come on. It's not hard to say that your coach sucks when your coach sucks.
So, no, I'm not saying that.
You just said that.
I don't need Brian on my ass. The Lord's name in vain just because
Got
Woodson people, leave me alone. I've left you alone.
There are no Got Woodson people left. It's just little Hitler from Florida and like 4 old ladies that won't say anything bad because they think Bobby Knight's still coaching. That's the Got Woodson group. That's all.
Well, I think, Robert says get him in foul trouble. Obviously, you got to go to the hole, but the question is going to be here is you got 2 guys at 6'11" and 7 foot that obviously playing forward means they can probably handle the rock and shoot from outside to some degree. Otherwise, they wouldn't be going with a 3-guard, 2-forward offense. Can Ballo and them play out on the wing a little bit? And are they going to try and draw them out?
They can't play on the wing. That's why you can't play with both of them.
That's something that I would be working on in practice today is getting those guys out there and learning and making sure they're defending out on the wing. I think our guard play has got to deny more passes. We're too lax on the guard play.
You know what I would like to know?
We try and guard them after they get the ball. Why don't we guard them to the point to where they don't get the ball?
You know what I would like to know? I would like to know if Indiana's going to practice today because they had a long night last night. It was really rough. Do you think maybe they'll just watch some film and wait till Sunday? Yeah,
they probably drove that. That's a bus drive back, so that's a long night coming. That's that's a 3.5 hour bus ride.
Yeah, you wouldn't want the guys having to practice the day after a rough game like that, Steve.
Shit, we'd have practiced that night. If we threw 20 turnovers on the board, I guarantee you we'd have gotten in the locker room and Knight would have said, "Gear up, tape them." That was the kiss of death. Gear up and tape them.
Get your knee pads on.
Yeah, that means get the Vaseline when you're getting taped.
That's what it was. I couldn't remember what the old saying was. It was so gay, but yet it was so funny every time you said it.
Grab the Vaseline.
All right, guys, we will be back.
Ball drills.
Let's see. We'll be back Wednesday, Steve.
Sure, we'll do a game post Wisconsin.
Well, post game Wednesday.
I think we need to do one really post every game now because
we will.
The next 8 or 9 games are critical. We cannot afford to lose a game, and we're going to run out of opportunities to afford to lose another game.
Yeah, over the next 5, I think they've got to win at least 2, if not 3, to have even a shot now.
And what kills you, Mike, is we had a chance to win this game last
night. You had a chance to win the last 2, which would have put us in prime position.
But we'd have been probably in the dance.
But you can look on the bright side. If this team gets to the dance, you might have to deal with the shitty coaching for another year.
I'm okay with that.
You are? You're okay with never being relevant again?
Indiana will be relevant again.
But not with Mike Woodson. All right, guys. Make sure you follow Steve on X at @SRisley34. You can follow me at Grueling Truth. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you want to bet on some games, check out BetMGM. Click on the link in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube for the top sportsbook to do that. We will be back Wednesday at noon or 1, Steve, Eastern time.
Whatever is easier for you. I can go either way at that point.
We'll go Wednesday at 1. It'll be easier on Steve. And I like to be easier on Steve since he's so old now. But for now, for Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpaster.